Suddhananda divyaistavaihi Vedai Shangapadakramopanishadaihi Gayantiyam samaga Yanavastita tadgatena manasa Shantiyam yoginaha Shantam navidusras Devaya tasmi reverse materials. Vitaragavaya krodhaha Manmanamam upasritam Bahavo jnanatapasa Bhutamadbhavamagataha Ye yatha mam prapadyante Tantathaiva bhajamyaham Mama vartmanuvartante Manushya partha sarvasah Kankshantah karmanam siddhim Yajantaya devataham Kshipram hi manushe loke Siddhir bhavati karmajam. The more you read these, see these, you cannot escape the greatness, the language fells, the richness, the meaningfulness of this wisdom. That one line, Mama Vartma Anuvartante Manushya Partha Sarvasa. Hey Partha, Manushyaha Sarvasaha Sarvaprakarehi Mama Vartma Anuvartante. Everybody follows my path. Mama Vartma Anuvartante. I am who I am is sought after by all. That is because the self in me is in self in all. It is not the pride of a rich man who alone has all the riches and then say everybody looks up to me. Or the person who enjoys certain political power or bureaucratic power, sitting down in the seat of power, says everybody looks up to me because everybody is so inferior. Here, how kind, how compassionate, how graceful, how beautiful. When he says everybody looks up to me. Why? Because everybody is myself. Nobody can stay contented. Nobody can remain restful until they reach me because I am themselves. It's just like the restless passage of the brook, the little river, cutting across the vast deserts, mountains, forests, to reach the ultimate destiny called ocean. The river doesn't know that it comes out of the ocean, sustained by the rain in the form of sustained by the ocean in the form of rain, and when it starts flowing, that it shall ultimately merge in the ocean itself. But there is a sense of restlessness for the little river until it finds its merger in the vastness of the ocean. It has no respite. So wherever you shall see, the rivers have merged the ocean. You don't know whether the river has merged or the ocean has come back to receive it. Same imagery can be taken for the sake of the individual. Each individual human being is like a tiny river. It begins and it starts to flow until it reaches the infinity absolute. The language is limited because we use the word until it reaches. There is no reaching here, because already you are it. But the sense of fulfillment doesn't exist for the individual. The river continues to flow. It doesn't know that it flows in the ocean. So it must reach it as though. And until it finds himself, he cannot keep quiet. If you speak the language of the God, maybe it will be difficult for average individual to comprehend. That is why, as in our classes, we started with the language of happiness. Ask the individual, what does he want in life? Even though it may look like immediately he may want some money, certain things, a relationship, a sensation, an experience, a little learning, education. But ultimately everybody wants happiness in life. In that there is no exception whatsoever for any man, any woman. Everybody wants happiness in life. All our struggles only to become ultimately happy. But that language is not known by the average individual. We think we are struggling for education, struggling for a job, struggling for security, struggling for money, struggling for love, struggling for attention, struggling for some type of comfort or health, satisfaction. But in reality, all these things, why does anybody want in life? You want everything so that ultimately you can be comfortable, happy in life. Why do you want to be immortal? So that there is no fear. When there is no fear, you can live happily through. Unadulterated happiness, not posed by some type of discomfort, misery, pain. No. Everybody wants happiness in life. If this is so, naturally everybody moving towards it, consciously, unconsciously. And the same language, what we call as like a secular language, the language of happiness. If you ask another person, a religious person who follows certain religious pursuit, he shall say, I want God. Again, that language has been taught to us. You must look for God. That's why belief and disbelief. There are many traditions which do not accept God. Oh, you must have freedom in this life, right here and now. For what? So that I can be happy in life. Now you must deny yourself everything here so that you can go to the company of God in the hereafter. So what will happen? So that you can be happy and contented. Or you are looking for an eternity. I should be there in His company forever and ever and ever. If it is looking for something eternity, eternity must be here and now. Eternity, you need not wait for eternity after death. Then you don't understand what eternity is all about. So if you look for God also, you are looking for happiness. That is why if Mr. God, if Mr. God, where if he takes a form for himself, even though he is in and through everything. So when you say Ishvara, it's not a name for a form, it is all-inclusive existence. That all-inclusive existence, if it takes a form, and he can say, everybody looks for me. If that becomes difficult to understand, give an embodiment, a form to the happiness, Mr. Happiness. Everybody wants happiness in life. Suppose Mr. Happiness stands there, everybody will go towards it. That is why, please know the richness of this tradition. they call in Bhagavan's form, when he says that Ananda Vigraha is the embodiment of Ananda, absolute happiness. Ananda Vigraha, embodiment of absolute happiness. So Mr. Happiness standing or Mr. God standing? Suppose Mr. Happiness stands, everybody shall be attracted by it. Why? Because everybody wants happiness. And the moment you give an embodiment to disembodied happiness, you are trapped. Because now that becomes the object of your happiness. I want that happiness. Then there is a distance between you and Mr. Happiness. Therefore, you shall be a beggar forever. Now the moment he stands apart from you, now begins the psychology of being a slave, being distanced, being separate, and then begins your cover, sort of helplessness, your inferiority, and then you must struggle to win or curry the favor of the Mr. Happiness. So around that, so many rituals will be formed. Mr. Happiness nobody worships, but Mr. God everybody worships. If it takes a form, naturally everybody worships. As even if you see Mr. Happiness as separate from you, you shall be unhappy in life. If you see Mr. God as separate from you, you shall be ungodly. Take that statement. At the end of the morning class, the statement hit my head. I wrote down when I went back home. If you see your happiness in Mr. Happiness standing there, you shall be unhappy in life. If you see Mr. God as separate from you, you shall be ungodly forever. Because He is the God and you are not. You are separate from it. That is why the people, religions, theologies, either who dismiss God or who makes God an exclusive form, naturally destroys the entire following. Because all these people becomes totally helpless, ungodly. Just like you cannot see happiness without being the happiness, you cannot see God without being the God. And this being the God or being the happiness is not an achievement of an exclusive individual. Because you are already the happiness. You are the Ishvara, Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan iti sabdyate. Some people call it Brahman, some people call it Paramatma, some people call it Bhagavan, some people call it Sachidananda, some it call it Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu, Akshara, any language you like. But that is everybody's being. There is no question of somebody being superior, somebody being inferior. Please understand this. What shall I say? When Bhagavan says, everybody follows my path, it is not some type of a proud, arrogant declaration to the inferior, miserable mankind. It's a call to the equal. Bhaktosi me sakha cheti. Hey Arjuna, you are my friend. We are same. You are micro, I am macro. I know everything, you know something. Individual body. But essentially, one and the same. So as even you cannot look for happiness outside, you have to be that happiness. You cannot look for God outside. You have to be the God. But then, if the person is conditioned to see God as separate from him, as much is looking for God in the somewhere, that much he shall look for happiness somewhere. Even if he does that. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tanastatheva bhajamyam. If you look for happiness in sound, you shall get some sensation, because happiness in every sensation. Vishayanande Brahmananda, that is the ultimate description. Vishayanande Brahmananda, in every sense pleasure, the same Brahman, the absolute, comes into manifestation. But there is only one Ananda, absolute bliss. And that comes into manifestation in every sensation. Whether you hear a sound, or a touch, or a taste, or a smell, or a sight. Anything you experience, in any moment of happiness, you are with yourself. Whether you build a palace, hutment, cave, skyscraper, 1,000-story high, 1-story building, space is same. It doesn't matter, you build a golden palace, marble palace, diamond palace, a hutment made out of leaves and twigs, space is same. Whether it is just a sneezing, relief from a sneezing, sneezing also is happiness, you know. Have you ever tried to sneeze and cannot sneeze? No, it's not a joke, friends. You try to sneeze and you don't. Then what do? You go restless, you look at the sun or star so that you really sneeze. Because you want, it's coming and it's not coming. Oh. How do you feel? Ooh. Any moment of happiness, listening to sound, touching something or somebody, seeing something, listening, smelling, tasting, any moment of Vishaya Anande Brahmananda. How many tradition and cultures will talk about it? Because Vishaya Ananda means sense pleasure is looked down upon. Degenerate, perverts. That is why when you see in Indian temples, the Kama Sutra, the erotic art is celebrated. The person who is not exposed to that type of culture comes and blast. Why? It's a pagan art. It's all sinful. It's all painful, degenerate, decadent. Think. Everything is celebrated as divine, absolute. Please. What all things you do, you go to the temple, same thing is done for God. He is also given food, he is made to sleep, he is made to bathe. Everything. Yad yad karma karomi tat tad akhilam sambhota varadhanam. Every action I do, O Lord, that is your worship. As in happiness in every sensation, God, the truth, Ishvara in every perception. You understand that point? If a person doesn't recognize it, ye yatha mam prapadyante, if he sees me in one particular form, tan tatheva bhajamyam, in that way they shall be rewarded. That, suppose you say my happiness in sound, okay, you experience it, there will be something, not that there will be nothing. Instead of seeing happiness in sound, you shall say sound gives me happiness, therefore you shall be stuck on the sound. Instead of seeing the happiness in every touch, if you say touch gives me happiness, you are a slave of a touch. Instead of seeing happiness in a sight or a taste or a smell, if you equate a particular smell or a particular sight or a particular taste with the happiness, you shall be slave of that taste. Instead of seeing God in and through every form, if you, whichever form or whichever name you see the God, you shall be a slave of that. If God in every form, you are a slave of whom? This is, you understand that? And long before I see God in every form, I must see God in myself. It begins with you. I see the happiness as my nature. Therefore, I see the same thing in and through every perception, every sensation. So speak the language of happiness or speak the language of God. Both are one and the same. It will be easier if you speak the language of happiness. The same principle. That is why Ananda Vigraha, this morning that idea suddenly came, is an embodiment of happiness. Please. So whoever, whatever they worship, in whatever form they worship something, if they see happiness in a particular form, okay, what can I do? That form is good for them. If they see God only in a particular form, okay, it's all right. It doesn't matter. That is how the person begins. So there is no condemnation of any kind. And what do people do? Why people do that? Kankshantam karmanam siddhim. Karmanam siddhim kankshantah iha devataha yajante. Desiring the fulfillment by the action or expecting different types of result, devata yajante. They worship different types of gods. This is the human world. Here, Manushya Loke, people do look for something. And in order to get that something, they worship different types of deities. Language of religion. Looking for happiness, they worship devatas, sense organs. Every sense organ, indriya, they are also devata. The person is worshipping a sense organ or a sense pleasure. Somebody is devotee of a sound, music, oof. Somebody the devotee of a touch, sound as an industry. Touch as an industry. Sight is an industry, sightseeing, tourism. Food is an industry. Taste, smell, cosmetics. Each one, how vast it is. Devataha yajante. They are worshipping a devata. Everybody worshipping a devata. And these people who are worshippers of happiness, worshippers of God, they are, let me not say, let me quote, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Shankara himself has quoted. Atha yo anyam devatam upasate anyasau anyohamasmiti nasa veda yatha pasurevacha devanam. Just please listen to this language with a tremendous sense of responsibility. Upanishad declaration. Atha yo anyam devatam upasate yaha, whoever he may be, he who, yaha, whoever he may be. Not that Indian, that Hindu, that man or female, male or female. No. Yaha, whoever he may be. Anyam devatam upasate, who worships God as separate from him. Asau anya, aham, anya aham asmiti. Asau anya, asau devata anya. That God is different, Ahamanya, I am different. Nasa Veda. That person, na Veda, na Janati. He does not know. He is yatha pasurevacha devanam. He is like a pasu, a beast of burden for the gods. So devanam pasuhu. He is like the beast of burden for gods. Why? He carries the oblation for the sake of the gods. These little gods, they will see to it that this fellow is not liberated. Because if this person is freed, then nobody shall carry the oblations to them. That is a little extension of joke. So Devanam Pasuhu, he is the beast of burden. And he enjoys that beast, he enjoys the carrying the burden for the Devatas. Why? Because now he is pleasing them, so he is a very superior person. That is why you can see the pervert superiority of the devotees. The person who thinks, oh, I am the devotee of that. Even I say, you are a devotee of that, is he proud of you or you are proud of that? Ask yourself a question. Are you getting that point? When you are telling, I am devotee of somebody, I am the follower of somebody, is that somebody proud of you? Ask yourself the question. The slavery continues everywhere. I find happiness in music. You are a slave of sound. I find happiness in drink or smoke or food. You are a slave of the food. You are a slave. I find happiness in a touch, in a sight or a smell. Again, you are a slave, dependent on something. The person who suppose tells you that he follows you, therefore he is proud. But you are not proud of him following you because he is such a weak person. He has no inherent strength. He is selling your name. He is selling you. The person has no inherent strength. Understand? No God shall be proud of a follower who doesn't know that God is there itself, in and through him. Stories abound in this tradition. In Maharashtra there was a great sage. They call it Namadev or something, a very peculiar story. The father was worshipping in a temple. The story is attributed to him. One day father goes out and he tells the wife, send the prasad through the child, let him give it to God and come. So the child takes the prasadam and go to the temple. And the mother says, offer it to God and come. So what is offering means God will take the prasad. So the child thinks he eats, God also will eat. So he sits down and says, eat. With his child's devotion, eat. Now of course God doesn't, who are the God eating? Eh? So after some time he says, okay, I am going to play. Because he can't sit down, no. I am going to play, I am coming back. So he put the thing down in front of God, goes to play. After half an hour, 1 hour, comes back, not eaten. He said, you are not eating, now my mommy will eat me when I go home. He sits down there and cries. This is the story. I don't know how far true it is or not. Don't ask me. This continues. But it sends a message. And when he cries, the story goes that God appears and he takes the food. So he takes the, empty vessel and goes home. The mommy says, where is prasad? He got it. She didn't believe. Naturally, how can she believe? But sometimes she doesn't want to disbelieve either. The child doesn't tell a lie. So next day he sees the same thing happens. She's very happy that my cooking God is now eating. So he sent every day. 15 days after when the man returns, few days after when the person returns, he says, you don't go now. Because God is eating our food. If you take it, naturally it will come to an end. Let the child take it. Story goes, he became very friendly. The child became very friendly with God. As time grows up, he becomes so friendly, he doesn't have any other friend, but he plays with him only. Now the God is in trouble. You understand? Now God has to appear before him all the time. So God wants him to understand the truth. Then occasion arises. There is a wise people's meet. In that meet, one person comes. His name is Gora Kumar. There is a Maharashtrian saint. Gora Kumar, he is a pot maker, but he was a wise person. So he has to say, he has to pass them. Who is wise, who is otherwise. So he touches with the stick. Wise, wise. When he touches this boy's head, who is playing with God, otherwise. He got very angry. He said, what do you mean I am ignorant? I am playing with God. And he, of course, with sheer disrespect, he runs away, goes to God. How can they say I am God? He said, you must learn about it from a teacher, and sends him to a teacher. When sends him to a teacher, he goes, to cut the story short, I can't go elaborately, he goes to the teacher, and he goes to the teacher, sends him to a teacher in the forest. And that man is sleeping with his leg on the Shivalinga. He is sleeping with his leg there and foot towards the Shivalinga. Not on the foot, towards the Shivalinga, lying down with. He is a devotee. Say, how can you do that? Sacrilege? How can you put your leg towards God? And then this old man smiled and said, son, I am very old, can't lift my leg. You put my leg in, and put wherever there is no God, you put my leg in that direction. So this fellow takes it, puts it one place. Another Shivalinga comes up. Another place he puts up. Another Shivalinga comes up. He doesn't know what is happening, but he doesn't like it because he is a devotee at heart. So he goes to back. What type of man you have sent? This fellow is putting like this. He is okay. He is the one from whom you should learn. Okay, go to another person. He goes to another person, and in that ashram there is a big feast that day. The Guru is serving everybody and has put the plates. Rotis are left on the banana leaves. Suddenly a dog comes and grabs two dry roti and goes. Now this Guru, this teacher, runs after the dog. Oh God, please take some ghee. These are all dry roti. We have not put ghee. Please take some ghee, please take. He was disgusted. How can you call a dog as God and running after him with the ghee? Again he goes back and reports. What type of mad people you are sending me to learn? One is putting the leg towards him, other is running after a dog, saying he's God. He said, those are the people to learn from. So he goes to the teacher, learns. And when he learns, he understands God is everywhere. He no more demands appearance of God in front of him. Even God will be in trouble if he has to appear every day. You know what a headache it is? Why people's love fails? Because love means demonstration. That is why it fails. It's just not love. Because I have to demonstrate. I just can't be loving. I must demonstrate. I must hug you. I must say honey. I must say poison. My destruction, my pain. All nonsense I have to show it to you. You shall be tired. Any type of exhibitionism is tiring. Certain times which you do, for a child you can demonstrate. For a baby, small one, baby, if you don't show him, you can say, I love you. Don't expect one laddu or one, what is that, chocolate. What nonsense. The child will not understand. The child demands it. The child doesn't understand. And that is why unconsciously the child equates love with the object. The childish people, they equate love with the object, understand? Somebody, if you equate love with a gift, the moment gift stops, you think love stops. And most people equate love with gift. Somebody who loves may give you a gift, but anybody who gives a gift does not necessarily love you. Love can be expressed in a gift, but the gift is not love. A devotee may sing, but by singing you are not devotee. Mirabai sings. Ramdas, what is his name? Tyagaraja sing. Tulsidas sang. Kabirdas sang. They were devotees, they singing. By singing you don't become devotee. That is why today people do bhajan sandhya. Because they have got nice voices. So they sing the song of, boy, what is his name? Sing the song of Mirabai, everybody, you shall see all those singers. But after the bhajan is over, drunk in the best alcohol on the street. Why? They are simply repeating. Draupadi did some, mantra, prayed. Everything came. If you sing his mantra, you think her mantra, you will get dhoti? Sorry? It doesn't work that way. At no time you must equate love with the gift. So when you want a demonstration all the time, you remain a childish person. Every time demonstration. It must be demonstrated. When you demand a demonstration, shows how insecure you are. A presence is not enough. Demonstration is needed. Understand? So if the God has to God to prove himself, he has to appear in front of everybody in that particular form. You know what a headache it is? That is why God will feel relieved when the devotee sees God in himself. Abba, one idiot has gone. Just think, understand that point. Because you are proud of being a devotee, but the object of your devotion, the altar of your devotion is not proud of you. Because he is a follower. Understand? So, look at that language. So, Devanam Pasuhu. Pasureva sa Devanam. And such a person shall always demand the quid pro quo, as they say. I give puja, worship, you give me something. And such a person will get angry. I have been worshipping for years and I did not get the result. My son died. My husband died. My wife passed away. What type of God is that? I don't believe in God. I have told you many occasions. Recently also, poor thing. One who lost their child. Naturally breaks down, Swamiji. I don't mention what is God. How can she is not talking. The mother is not talking. It's the anger talking, frustration talking. My baby is snatched. My mother is gone. My son is gone. If your prayer is fulfilled, your wishes are fulfilled, your God exists. If your wishes are not fulfilled, your God doesn't exist. Whom are you worshipping? God? Or your prayer, your little desires? So you are the worshipper of your desire, not worshipper of God. Worshipper of God has no complaint. One who worships God, his worship is what? Karmanyeva adhikarame. I have full freedom, full privilege over the action. Ma phaleshu kadachana, never over the result of action. Whatever comes, he knows best. That is why you are unperturbed, undisturbed, calm, quiet, contented, you live through life. At no point there is sense of restlessness. Restlessness comes out of a funny sense of authority, power, that as though you can control everything. When I say 4, I see. When I say 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock. I see. Hey, not that therefore say I am a devotee. So it can be 3 o'clock, it can be 7 o'clock, it can be 9 o'clock. No. You don't do it deliberately. But in spite of your best attempt, things shall not move as you organize it to move. Because you are not the only person in the universe. It has to be coordinated through millions of people. Natural disasters, sudden turn of events over which you have absolutely no control. Just think of it. That is why the more and more you see it, you don't succumb to that habitual, unconscious reactions and projections from within. Your restlessness comes from a sense of that habitual reaction and projection. How it did not happen? I see. Ask yourself. There is all possibilities of happening, not happening. When you do something, you plant a seed. Can you say, this tree must grow? Expecting it must grow, plant it. Maybe it goes very beautifully. 7 years, 5 years, lovely growth. One cyclone comes. Finished. It happened in Orissa. Our ashram when we started 1995-96. By 99, 3-4 years time, because Orissa is more fertile and gets more rain. In 4 years time, the ashram that were built there, it became a green. Even now it is there, you must see. The mango trees have grown crazy. Hundreds of mango trees. Hundreds of coconut. It filled up. When you get in, woof. 1999, October, 2000 cyclone, super cyclone, punished it off. When I went there, what do you say? You can build a marvelous palace, huge. One earthquake, like a pack of cards, they will fall off. You have built up your stock exchange. 20,000 mark is going to hit, 15,000, 18,000. Then bullish run, as they say. Suddenly market collapses. One plane goes into the Twin Tower. Like that building collapses, the market collapses, the business collapses, people collapse. And then what do people do? Commit suicide. Should they? Financial commitment is more important than an emotional commitment to your son or a daughter. Financial commitment is much more important than your commitment of love and affection. Just because money is lost, you kill yourself. Why is it that a person cannot live without money? Can you not be alive? You may not have the Benz car, you may not have a Mercedes, you may not have the top car or top house, but you are alive. Love, affection is there, but that value is gone. If the money is gone, life is wiped out. So every day there is an earthquake in the stock exchange. How many lives are collapsing? How many people collapsing? Everything is not under your control. That is where the arrogance goes away. When you are aware of yourself, Ishvara, when I accept, He alone is everywhere. I do the action for action's sake. Perception for perception's sake. Speak the language of happiness or God, both one and the same. Anyway, those who do it, they worship, Kshipram hi manushe loke siddhir bhavati karmaja. Hey Arjuna, karmaja siddhi kshipram bhavati manushe loke. In this human world, karmaja siddhi, this success or failure out of karma, comes very instantaneously. Kshipram bhavati. Quickly they get the result of action. So some people always lose themselves in that result of action. Good result comes, thank God. Bad result comes, bad God, But that is how the person ups and downs, he lives in life. What can I do? He doesn't understand that God is in hand through everything. Happiness is himself. In himself is the God. The person doesn't understand. Why does he not understand? Because of the ignorance of himself. And because of that ignorance, therefore, you shall see varieties of people in this world. Even though from the standpoint of absolute, all is one and the same, even from the standpoint of divine, Ishvara, everybody is divine, everybody is God, yet there are divisions which you cannot escape among the people. How does division? We shall see now. It's very interesting. I really wish I had a whole 1 hour to talk about it, or 1.5 hour. It's a very beautiful verse. I have been really dreaming of talking about it, but it's already 45 minutes taken away by this. But think we will continue, we'll start with now, we'll see that. Very important, because these apparent divisions that you see in the people, how it happens and what it is. Please read. First thing, understand the principle. Basic principle is everybody is one and the same. Consciousness all over. Ishvara, happiness. Or Ishvara, everything is God. There is nothing other than it. When I say the Ishvara, the whole macrocosm, all names and forms taken into include. So how many things are existing? Call it truth, Brahman, absolute. Call it Ishvara. Shaguna Brahma, Nirguna Brahma. No second thing existing. Are you getting that? No second thing existing. Ekameva Advitiya Brahma. One without a second. Consciousness everywhere. Or Ishvara alone is existing. God alone is. There is not one God. There is a difference between, somebody say there is one God and God alone is. Are you see the difference? There is one God. There is no other God other than that person. That becomes very, very controversial fanaticism. Everything begins with that. Because this is the only God and there is no other God. Here it is, God alone is. You don't exist, I don't exist. Earth alone is. There is no America, no India, no Europe other than Earth. Earth alone is. Earth is India, Earth is America, Earth is Australia, Earth is Europe, Earth is everything. No problem. Don't say America alone is the world. Like that. Body alone is. Body is nose, body is hand, body is leg, body is everything. But don't say my stomach is the body. My nose is the body. Don't take a part as the whole. So body alone is, of which everything is an inseparable part. God alone is. What name shall you give him? You choose. Is a man? Yes. Woman? Of course. Neuter? Anything. None of these things? Yeah, none of these things. Everything is fine. Ishvara. This is the basic, the fundamental. And that will not make a fundamentalist. This is fundamental, but this will not make a fundamentalist. Why? Because acceptance of everything is fine. America also is earth? Yes. India also? Yes. What about Timbuktu? That also. What about the stone? That also. What about the tree? That also is earth. What about the dust? That also is earth. What is this? Everything, how can it be earth? What else do? There is nothing other than the earth. Okay. But if you say, tree is the earth, now you understand what happens. Around the tree, everything is formed. Then other things are not God. Then when somebody is worshipping the sand or the stone or the anything, this also, this fellow is useless pagan. Because how can you worship a tree and worship any other thing? This is the only God. You understand the division you create? Disaster. Now this tradition, who is the sees, everything is God. Everything is divine. Everything is Brahman, the absolute. And it's not something a philosophical speculation, but something, a reality a person discovers in himself. Such a tradition cannot create an artificial division and to condemn people into the misunderstood caste system. And this is the language we shall see about the caste. Where he sees, read. Chaturvarnam maya srustam gunakarma vibhagasah tasya kartaram apimam vidya kartaram abhyayam chaturvarnam maya srustam gunakarma vibhagasah tasya kartaram apimam Vidhyakartaram abhyayam. Mahadeva. This is something which you should see little elaborately, because popular Hinduism, the moment somebody, whether here, there, everywhere in the world, if you talk about Hinduism, immediately most people are familiar with the caste system. They say, oh, it's Hindu caste, Hindu religion, caste ridden. You see, until you come to this line, what is talked about? Oneness, absolute, Brahman, consciousness, truth, Ishvara alone is existing, there is no differences. Ajo nitya saswatayam purana nahanyate hanyamane sarire. Body, even when the body is destroyed, this is unborn, eternal, absolute. Everybody. No division is ever accepted. Inferiority, superiority is not even talked about. But if you look at the people's, the information that they have, popular perception about Hinduism is what? So many gods. They don't understand God alone is. What is the perception? So many gods are there. Which one we should worship? And they shall make stories out of it, jokes out of it also. I'll tell one of the stories which my teacher says, and he says like that. There's so many gods are there. Which one go to worship? Especially missionary people, some people, those who are, not every missionary is stupid, not everybody think, but this is the type of people. Those who talk against, in order to sell your thing, you have to, of course, dismiss everything good about everybody else, or else how are you going to sell it? When the other person is selling paddy, you are selling paddy. If your rate is high, the other you have to say, oh, that useless paddy. So naturally he can give it. How do you know? Maybe it is good one. Anyway, this is silly, silly stuff. I have no time for this nonsense. But see that, the type of stories that go around. Oh, so many gods. They don't understand the concept. Earth is God. Can be represented by what? Anything in this earth. Will you call it paganism? Your body is one. But body can be represented by any cell. If there are trillions of cells, the body can be represented by any cell. Are you a pagan? When you say the word Ishvara, nothing in this universe stands apart. When the individual says I, only one body. When Ishvara says I, the whole universe reverberates with it. It's like president of a country. When president says, I declare the war, the whole country echoes with it. When you say, I declare, only you, your husband, wife, nobody will be included. You cannot say, now especially India now, poor president, female lady president. Suppose he says, I am, well, God forbid, I am declaring a war against X or Y. Can you say, she has declared, let her fight. I am not going to join the battle. Can you say that? When president says I, the whole country goes with it. When God says, Ishvara says I, nobody stands apart. Everybody is as divine as everything. So that is the foundation, that is the background. So which one you should worship? Any form you can worship. A dust, a tree, a monkey, a stone, man, woman, anything. But the other person doesn't understand. He says, oh, there are so many gods. Hinduism is very, very confusing. Because your brain is, you understand what it is. There is no brain. It's a total upstairs to late. There is no thinking. It's a total empty. Because it's not talked about. Are you getting that point? What a concept. How beautiful. And what is the story they will give? A fellow was drowning in the river. Then he said, oh God, oh Rama, you please protect me. Then Rama says, oh my God, this fellow is calling me. So he is coming. Then all in between he says, oh Vishnu. Then Rama said, he is calling Vishnu, he is not calling me. So Rama went back. So Vishnu comes in. When Vishnu comes in, by the time Vishnu reaching, story, Then he says, oh Shiva. Now Vishnu says, oh, he is calling Shiva. So Vishnu goes back, Shiva is coming. So by the time Shiva comes, then he says, Ganapati, his son. Shiva is calling my son, not me. Fellow, drowned, every god comes and goes back. Whereas the person who was flying there, who believes in only one particular god, doesn't matter whatever it is. He said, oh X, and here comes X, picks him up, no confusion. Naturally, average Hindu, what will say? True. Because when you become guest of many houses, you are remaining usually starved. Because so many people are invited, so everybody think, oh, he must have fed him. And that person must have given him a tea. That person must have. Then you, in a guest of many people, remain starved. So like that, so many gods, this fellow is finished. But look, only one God. So, hello, X, he comes. Both the fellow are drowning, the Hindu was drowning, the other follower was drowning. He comes, of course, to his follower he takes, allows the Hindus to drown and go back. No problem. Now what do you do? To that, an intelligent answer. Idiotic question, idiotic answer, no. You remember those answers. So the another person said, yeah, but there is another thing. In India, because there are millions of gods, makes so helpful. Why? Suppose simultaneously, not suppose, this is a fact, simultaneously millions of people can be in trouble. One is drowning, one is under a 10-wheeler, other is giving a woman giving birth to a baby, other person just falling from the height, somebody is being bitten by a snake, somebody is being attacked by somebody. So when you have got only one fellow, where will you go? But suppose you have got 33 crores, Vishnu, you go there, Hari, you go there, Rama, you go there, Ganapati, you go there, Shiva, you go there. So everybody is protected by one person or other. To an idiotic person, you have to give idiotic logic. Are you getting that? But this is the type of logic people will say. Too many gods, too many divisions. Please understand, that is not right. If he says about oneness, how can he talk about somebody superior, inferior, especially the caste system? We shall see now. Chaturvarnam maya srushtam. Hey Arjuna, 4 types of people have been created by me. Listen, maya srushtam. I'll give you general meaning, then we'll go into that. 4 types of people have been created by me. How? Guna karma vibhagasa. Underline it, keep it and stamp it on your own head. Guna vibhagasa, karma vibhagasa. The 4 types of people do exist in the human world according to guna and according to karma. Guna, qualities, sattva raja tamo guna, we shall see, and karma vibhaga, according to karma. It is not according to birth. Please say, guna vibhaga, karma vibhaga, not by janma, not by birth, but by guna and by karma. You must print it, you name whatever metal, whether it is gold or lead or iron or platinum, but it must be printed. Nobody should be given a caste according to the birth. By birth, varna vibhaga is not created. Guna vibhaga, karma vibhaga. See that, it's not I am talking, Bhagavan says, Chaturvarnyam maya srushtam. Guna karma vibhagasa. Guna vibhaga, karma vibhaga. Okay. We shall see elaborately later on. Tasya kartaram apimam vidhi. Vidhi. Know, hey Arjuna, tasya kartaram. I am the doer of it all. Mam kartaram vidhi. I am the one who has created it. Also, vidhi akartaram abhyam. Know me not to be anywhere responsible for it. We shall see this conundrum. You will see this puzzle. If the contradiction is now and later on after some times, you will forget the first line. But here the contradiction is immediate. Kartaram api mam vidhi. Know me to be the responsible, know me to be responsible for this. And also know akartaram, I am nothing to do with it. Huh? What is this? But that is what exactly we shall see. See the caste, okay? Akartaram abhyam. I am the non-doer, imperishable I am. I am nowhere responsible for it. Okay? Now let us see the caste system. Okay? Get ready to take off, and you have to discuss it very, very clearly so that all of you grasp very nicely. Because this is something misunderstood. It has become like a blotch, like a stigma into the whole beautiful tradition. Everybody looks at it as though, look at this Hinduism, full of caste system, divisions, riddled with this and that. In a wave of hand, it's like an incompetent, insignificant, unthinking minds dismissing the beauty, grace, richness, nobility of a tradition. And that becomes painful. It's like an ordinary man dismissing a big man and say, he's an idiot. How do you like it? There was one such meeting I had been to, where I was supposed to talk on Vedanta. And I gave the whole talk. It is beautiful. There are all peoples are there. There are people, believers, non-believers, everybody was there. And there was one person who was a communist. He was also there. Materialism he was talking about. And when I gave that half an hour talk, I still remember 20 years back almost. It was a really nice talk, full of revelations, everything so beautiful. And half an hour time, very beautiful presented. Everybody enjoyed. And every speaker was supposed to be given 10 minutes for question answer. And after I finished, everybody was smiling, beaming. And nobody had any question. But this non-believer, the person who was sitting down on the bad eyes, he asked a question. I think whatever Swamiji said is all pure obscurantism. Obscurantism means, that which you cannot explain, that which you cannot justify, you cannot rationalize, is something very old, anachronistic, the ideas which has no relevance. Because nobody understands anything. How do you prove it? I just got up, one sentence, I remember still. I said, my father is a farmer. He owns land, he's a landlord, small farmer, call it whatever. And he says, Einstein's theory of relativity is absolute nonsense. Why? Because he doesn't understand anything out of it. He doesn't get head and tail out of it. The whole audience clapped. I didn't say anything, I just sat down. What is there to explain? Because he doesn't understand, therefore it must be nonsense. What? What type of logic is that? This is where the modern intellectuals consider themselves. If they don't grasp it, they think it is all useless. How do you grasp it with a huge block in your head when you are sitting down with a huge ego problem of I am the professor, I am the PhD, I am the learned one, I am the scholar, or I am the rich, I am a non-believer. How are you going to question yourself? And if you are not going to question yourself, how are you going to get the truth of yourself? So you are your own stumbling block. It's not that God is putting a block. Society has successfully killed. And you think you are an independent thinker. You don't understand. You have swallowed the bait, lock, stock and barrel, or whatever the language they say. The sinker, the marker, and the thread, whatever. Hook, line and sinker. Yes. You have swallowed the bait, hook, line and sinker. And you say, oh, I don't believe in all these things. Where from you got this idea that you don't have to believe? Who gave you that? As a child, were you an unbeliever? Or a child as a believer? Nothing. So somebody is conditioned to believe, somebody is conditioned not to believe. So both remain at the belief level. The believer remains at the belief level, and the non-believer remains in disbelief level, which is also a belief. But he thinks that's not a belief. How strange. So these ideas, when you come across, it becomes dangerous. And just such an ordinary person, with a single wave of hand, oh, Hinduism is useless. The mother of all religions. Sanatana Dharma, traditions of amazing dimensions, from finite to infinity. So far you have seen it all with all its glory. Now see this taboo that is like a blotch, like a stigma. It is something like a bad mark. Anytime average person, when he says, what is Hinduism? Caste system comes to his head. Listen to this caste system, what it can be. Please see. First thing. How do you think this caste system must have started? And what is the caste system? Okay. What is the thing? Chaturvarnam. Everybody is familiar with it. What is that? Brahmana, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Shudra. These four divisions are possible among men. Guna vibhagasa, karma vibhagasa. According to the guna and according to the karma. Never by janma. Okay? Are you getting that point? So what Bhagavad is, when Krishna is talking about, this division you cannot escape in the world. There shall be four types of people. Because this division is not by birth, not according to the body, not according to the color of the body. Varna also means color. Not according to the white man, fair color, black color, red color, Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. Fair, Sattvic. Dark, Rajasic, Tamasic. Red, Rajasic. Strange, I'm not telling you. These type of cuckoo interpretations also will be there with Varna. So everybody, that is why fair color in India is considered very high. So sometimes if people, Arya means fair, Anarya means dark. Huh? This is absurd, absurd, absurd. No divisions is made according to your physical body. Because this is something guna vibhaga. What is a guna? Guna is subtle at the level of the mind. And what are they? Three gunas. Sattva guna, rajo guna, tamo guna. First see the division, then we shall see the functioning of it. Sattva guna, rajo guna, tamo guna. Who is a Brahmana? Think. Sattva pradhana, raja upasarjana, Brahmana. Somebody whose quality is sattva pradhana, very contemplative, happy, contented, restful with himself. But raja upasarjana, activity is there to sustain his life and sustain others. Absolutely the ultimate ideal of an ideal person in the world. Very happy, very contented with himself. Sattva pradhana. Free, wise man. Happy with himself, fully contented. Nothing to lose, nothing to gain. Living for himself, living for others. Brahmana. Okay. The next one is Rajapradhana Sattva Upasarjana. We call it Kshatriya. The Kshatriya is the one, the ruler, the leader, the protector, a king. How is he should be? Rajapradhana. Very active. Sattva Upasarjana for others' sake. Rajapradhana. Very active. Creative, functional, very active. But Rajapradhana, Sattva Upasarjana, but all the activities for others' sake. Okay, that is good for a ruler, leadership. The third one is Rajapradhana, same activity, but Tama Upasarjana. Very active, but only for his sake, not for people's sake. That makes it a Vaishya. Are you getting that? Vaishya, businessman. Who is a business person? Very active, but not for the sake of others. Only for sake of himself. Absolutely selfish, self-centered, insecure, Vaishya. Okay? Think. And the last person is Tamopradhana, very lazy, tamasic. The mind doesn't stir, doesn't move. There is no thinking. But little active. Tamapradhana, Raja Upasarjana. But activity, moving around, sustenance, procreation. Living and procreating. That is the two action this person knows, like an animal. This is known as the Sudra. Now, are you getting that point, please? Sattva Pradhana, Raja Upasarjana, Brahmana. Raja Pradhana, Sattva Upasarjana, Kshatriya. Raja Pradhana, Tama Upasarjana, Vaishya. Tama Pradhana, Raja Upasarjana, Sudra. Are you getting that point? All the four you got it. This is the quality. Listen carefully, please. Mankind cannot escape these divisions because these type of people shall be there. But, listen carefully. But this is not a rigid division. This is a flexible division. Right? Sometimes you can be a Brahmana. Sometimes you can be a Vaishya. Sometimes you can be a Kshatriya. Sometimes you can be a Sudra. Are you getting that point, please? No person can be condemned to one particular division for the rest of his life. Because this guna, according to the changes in the guna, just like the air pressure is going, temperature is going up and down, now this guna also goes changing. So according to that, when the changes takes place, your guna changes, your action also changes. That is, the same person can sometimes be so beautiful, so wonderful, like a Brahmana, very happy with himself and living for others. And the same person sometimes can be such a rogue, only his interest and everybody's interest is sacrificed. The same person can give his life for others' sake. And sometimes the fellow can be so dull, only his own personal satisfaction, food and procreation, nothing else. Are you getting that? In same individual, all the four will be playing about. Please. Now therefore, mistake lies in today's, this division is something universal. But the expression or the practice as it is seen in the society today is not universal. Are you getting that point, please? Why? Because we have successfully and miserably put the cart before the horse. Instead of telling the person who is Sattva Pradhana, Raja Upasarjana is a Brahmana, who is a Brahmana must be Sattvic. Are you getting that point? Kshatriya should be protecting others. First you are already, you see, first you are branded as a Brahmana, then you are expected to do something. First you are branded as a Kshatriya, or a Vaishya or a Sudra, then you are supposed to do something. Forgetting that you cannot brand the person as a Brahmana, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Sudra. Understand? You cannot brand a person as Brahmana, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Sudra. As even you cannot brand, listen carefully, as even you cannot brand that the engineer knows engineering. Can you say? Can you say engineer before he becomes an engineer? Engineer knows engineering, or by knowing engineering you are engineer? When you know engineering, you are an engineer. Nobody is born engineer. Doctors do not know medicine. Those who know medicine are doctors. Lawyers do not know law. Those who know law, they are lawyers. A Brahmana, understand, a Brahmana is not somebody who is Sattva Pradhana Raja Upasarjana, contented with himself and lives for others. Those who are contented with themselves and live for others, they are Brahmana. Those who are very, very active and living for others, they are Kshatriya. Those who are very active and living only for themselves, they are Vaishya. Those who are totally inactive and active only for the sake of sustenance and procreation, they are Shudra. So don't ever divide people according to their birth. You understand the mistake? And you cannot escape this division. There shall be 4 types of people. Why? Because the same person also can be sometimes a Brahmana, sometimes a Vaishya, sometimes a Shudra, sometimes a Kshatriya. So nobody can be branded as a Brahmana, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Shudra. Are you getting that? You see the point very clearly? Nobody can be branded as a Brahmana, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Shudra. Because all the 4 things are in everybody. Sometimes you are a Brahmana, sometimes you are a Vaishya, sometimes you are a Kshatriya, sometimes Chandala. Untouchable. What is that untouchable? Untouchable is what? Look at this fellow, Chandala. Chandala means what? So angry. The fellow is so angry. He is going to kill everybody. My God. Don't even go near him. Don't touch him. Don't talk to him. Why? Untouchable. See the beauty. But what have you done? We have branded one fellow as Chandala. Paraya. What nonsense. And one fellow, he can be a rogue, but he is a Brahmana, or a Vaishya, or a Kshatriya. You understand the division? It was never by birth. Please, it was never by birth. You remember Mahabharata story. In Mahabharata story, when Pandavas and Kauravas, they are all supposed to be Kshatriyas. Because they are ruling and ruling for others' sake, great kings, no problem. And when Pandavas and Kauravas, they were having a competition among themselves, Duryodhana was supposed to compete with the Pandavas. Then he says, no, for Arjuna, we shall send Karna. Karna was supposed to be the son of a charioteer, Sutaputra, son of a charioteer, because he was brought up by a charioteer. So when the Kauravas brought the Karna, immediately Pandavas said, no, we have to fight with the same type of people. He is a Sudra. So I mean, Sutaputra, he is the son of a charioteer. We are prince. We are Rajaputra. We are the son of kings. You know thereafter the story. What is the story? Immediately Duryodhana anointed Karna as the prince of king of Angadesha. Then now I anoint him as the king of Angadesha. Now he became Kshatriya. If it is by birth, how does he become? And then they have to fight. How did he become? Understand the flexibility. Nobody is born a Brahmana, born a Vaishya, Kshatriya, Shudra. Rather, what do they say? There is I think somewhere it is talked about. I should find the source. Janmana jayate Shudra. By birth, everybody is Shudra. By birth. Everybody is Shudra. Because samskara vihina. No impressions, no purities, no teaching, no learning. Everybody is Shudra, untouchable, dirty. A child, if you live like an animal, no. Janmana jayate Shudra. Upanayanat dvija. Upanayana dvija. When you are taken to the Gurukula, Upanayana takes place. Upanayana means what, you know? Upanayana is a ceremony, thread ceremony they call it in India. Upanayana, a thread ceremony they call. When your child is 4-year-old, they 4 or 6, something like that, they do the Upanayanam, where they give the sacred thread. Why do they give that? Because from that day onwards, the child has to be told, you are no more a baby, you are now ready to go to Gurukula. You are going to study with the teacher. Therefore, a thread is given, because he shall be a Vatu, Brahmachari. What is the Brahmachari? The name Brahmachari is given, why? Because though he is just like you start with engineering college, the day you join engineering college, you are an engineer. The day you join in medical college, people call this doctor. Why? Because you are going to be a doctor. Therefore, they call you doctor. You are going to be engineer. They call it engineer. The day you go to the your teacher, you are a brahmachari. Why? Later on, you are supposed to revel in Brahman, the absolute. See the richness of the tradition, brahmachari. And the 3 threads are given. Why? Avidya, kama, karma. Avidya, kama, karma. So 3 traits stand for the avidya, kama, karma, to remind him that you are under the spell of ignorance, desires will be there, action will come, they will torture you, torment you. That's a knot of the heart. Ultimately, you must study to get out of it. This is, child won't understand, teacher knows. Therefore, that is given to the child. So when he becomes second, when he takes this, known as the Dvija, Upanayanat Dvija. Dvija means Dvija, Jayate, second birth. Already first time you are born, now you are Dvija, second birth this is. You are taking another role, going to the teacher. Okay. Vedadhyayi bhaved vipra. Vedadhyayi bhaved vipra. One who studies the Vedas, he becomes Vipra. So Sudra, Dvija, then Vipra. One who studies the Vedas. Vedadhyayi bhaved Vipra. Brahma janaditi Brahmana. One who knows the Brahman becomes a Brahmana. Are you getting that point? So who is a Brahmana? Brahma janaditi Brahmana. One who knows the absolute is a Brahmana. So that is the goal for every individual. Everybody starts as a Sudra. Janmana jayate Sudra. Everybody starts as a Sudra. Then Dvija. When you start as Upanayanam, Dvija. That day thread you take. Then you study Vedas. You become Vipra. And Brahma janaditi Brahmana. Please see that. One who knows the Brahman, the absolute, becomes a Brahmana. So, please observe now. What would have happened? How did this caste system must have come up? Please see this problem. Are you ready to think? See it. Please see. Look at it. At the end of it, I will, today, tomorrow also, don't worry, we will have a session. Have question answer. Because I want it to be really elaborate known. You ask any type of inconvenient question you like about caste system. So that it will be a real nice piece of information. Everybody must know it. Everybody must understand it clearly. Please see. Then how it would have happened? The system has been so crazy. Because what happens is, like in a family, think, like in a family. In an agrarian economy, Indo-Gangetic plain, agrarian economy, banks of Kaveri, banks of Ganges, banks of Tigris, whatever it is, wherever it is. In the river bank, there was agrarian economy. There was no industrialized economy those days. It was agrarian economy. In that agrarian economy, what was the beauty? Everybody have to cultivate and live their life. Now, when you are living as a group of people, think. Just see the possibility. If you are living as a group of people, everybody cannot do everything. There has to be karma vibhaga, division of labor. For sheer convenience of the society, there has to be division of labor. Like 20 people we are here living. Somebody is looking after the office. Somebody looks after a kitchen. Somebody looks after a library. Somebody looks after the gate. Somebody looks after cultivation. Somebody looks after translation. Somebody looks after the plants. Somebody looks after the housekeeping. Different workers. Who is superior, who is inferior? There is no superiority, inferior. It's a karma vibhaga. Are you getting that point, please? It is a karma vibhaga. Same thing also in a society when people are living together, naturally look at the richness and the maturity of this tradition. In a society like that, naturally they must have divided. Hey, so many of us are living together. Everybody can't do anything. Okay. Everybody gets himself involved in the agriculture. Everybody needs pot. Who has to make pot? Hey, you make pot. Somebody has to produce flour, you produce flour. We need milk, you take care of the cows. We want hair cutting, you take care of the hair cutting. We need clothes to be washed, you wash the clothes. So one who washes the cloth becomes a washerman. One who starts making the pot becomes a pot maker. One who starts doing the iron job, blacksmith, ironsmith. One who gives a milk becomes a cowherd boy. One who produces, looks after the puja, worship of the thing, he becomes a priest. One who looks after the agriculture, he becomes an agriculturist. Are you getting that point? So different types of roles were given to everybody. Different types of roles were given to everybody. Now, imagine, please see. The moment you divide these roles, in the beginning stages it will be flexible. You can do whatever you want to do, I can do whatever I want to do. But in time, it has become rigid. Like, look at the Western concept. Go to a mall, a shopping center in any Western country. Please see that. How Westerners in the Western country, they have successfully implemented this karma vibhaga, this dignity of labor. In this tradition, they have implemented it well. Please see how the principle. You go to a shopping mall, okay? And what is the shopping mall for? To take care of the needs of the people in that area. Anything you want, it is there. You want flower? Florist. You want a milkman? Milk vendor. You want a chiropractor? Chiropractor. You want a washing? There is a cleaners. You want the hair cutting? Saloon. You want bread? Bread maker. Every shop is there. But see the beauty. The person who is cutting your hair, the saloon owner, is not a barber. Neither his son will be barber. You can purchase the business, but you are not a barber. Are you getting that? You must see this very, very clearly. Today I will take a little more time. If anybody wants to go for little easing themselves up or anything, you can go and come back. But I will be here sitting down, talking. Okay? Please think of it. I want to finish this topic. Think. Feel free to go and come. Okay? Don't strain yourself. Whole arrangement is so practical because everybody cannot do everything. But society needs everything. So person who sells milk, it doesn't become a cowherd, nor his son becomes a cowherd. The person who owns a saloon, cuts your hair, does not become a barber, neither his son become a barber. The person who owns a cleaner does not become a washerman, nor his son become a washerman. Why is it so? Because, listen carefully, because in that system, the professional, write it down, in that system, the professional is not condemned to the profession. The professional is not condemned to the profession. He is doing the profession without being condemned to profession. He runs a saloon, but he is not a barber. He runs the cleaner, but he is not a washerman. Are you getting that point, please? He is a professional without being condemned to the profession. He is still a person. Nobody calls him, hey, barber, call the barber. Mr. So-and-so. When he is doing his saloon, he is barber. But out of it, he is not a barber. He is Mr. So-and-so. Even you shall see the name of the people in other countries also. And that is how, of course, a professional. I saw there one gentleman, one boy had come here, he became a Swami. His name was Peter Coffin. What is this Coffin? C-O-F-F-I-N, Coffin, you know. I said, what type of fancy name you have got, man? Coffin, how can somebody give? Because his grandfather was a coffin maker. The top driver in the world, what is that boy's name, German boy? Schumacher. Schumacher. What is Schumacher? Shoemaker. Schumacher means in Germany, shoemaker. His parents must be, in India he would have been a cobbler. What an unfortunate thing. But they are proud shoemaker, proud coffin maker, the best coffin, the best shoe. Like in, you can see it in Parsi tradition, Farooq engineer, because he is an engineer. Dudwala, Dudwala means milk fellow who sells dud, dud means milk. Mithai wala, so and so mithai wala means one who sells mithai, sweet, panwala, one who sells, different names. According to their profession, the names are given. But what happens in India, what has happened is, please see the beautiful tradition. What the Western country is now following because of to facilitate every convenience for everybody, the shopping mall is there, takes care of every need of everybody. Whatever you want, the shop is there. But the person who is running that shop is not condemned to that profession. Unfortunately, in India it happened. The idea is great, implementation, goofed up. So in the country, in the place, what did they do? Okay, you make the shoe, you are a shoemaker. So he become a shoemaker. Leather, chandala. This fellow is pot maker, only pot maker. So now, this is the division of labor, it started. In the beginning stages, it must have been flexible. You can do whatever you like, I can do whatever you like. But in time, what happens? Just like, again see another thing, just like in time, in Western countries the flexibility continues. Today you can be purchase of that saloon, you are a saloon owner. You can purchase of the cleaners, that will be cleaner. You purchase of the medicine, that you become that one. But nobody condemns you that profession. Here, what has happened is, the person is condemned to his profession. That is why, please look at it, that is why the son of a washerman is washerman. The son of a barber is a barber. You understand the misrepresentation, how it happens? The son of a... So this is only professional problem. That is, do you understand what I am talking? That is why you can see, why is it there are only castes available until, so whatever a caste available until now, only those castes are there and nothing more is added. Why there is only barber is a caste, ironsmith is a caste, flower person is a caste, cowherd is a caste, weaver is a caste. Have you seen engineer as a caste in India? Doctor as a caste in India? Medicine, a doctor as a caste in India? Have you seen lawyer as a caste in India? Why? Because those professions were not available. Clearly shows how the person is condemned to the profession. Clearly shows. So the idea you cannot escape. No society can escape. Division of labor, no society can escape. But definitely you can escape condemning a person to the profession. But you cannot escape the profession, because we need somebody. Everybody can't cut his hair. But as manual labors are becoming obsolete, these professions also will become obsolete. But what has happened? Today in India, the misfortune is, the caste name continues even though caste job is gone. The person is no more a barber. He has become engineer. He has become a doctor. But what do you say? Barber's son, shouting at me, you are barber's son. Why? Because this fellow is, is a big caste. Oh, you are a washerman's son, what do you think of yourself? Just because you become an engineer. You understand how pathetic it is? People don't understand. You cannot change any system, please, unless you change this attitude, understand the truth of himself. How no individual can be condemned to a profession. No person can be condemned to a profession. No individual can be condemned to a profession. How is it happened? How did it happen? We are 20 people living here. Now 20 people, suppose we are living here, we are making a society. Now we have to suppose say governor is coming. Now all the 20 people cannot go and meet him. So what do? We create a society and then we say, hey, you are president. Please see. Functional division we are making now. Until we created a society, we are 20 different individual, equal individual. But the moment you create a society, a group, now we are members of the society, members, we are all equal members. Then begins representation. When the representation begins, what happens? Hey, you be the president of for the year. This is vice president. This is secretary. This is treasurer. Others are members. Now suddenly, the person who is elected president now is very important. Until yesterday he was one amongst us, members. Now he is president. Just see how we lose sight of everything. Are you getting that point, please? Beginning. Until now, until the society is formed, roles are given, we are all one and the same. But the day he became president, now his wife is no more Mrs. So-and-so, is a president's wife. Oh, she is also proud. Or the wife is president, the husband is the husband of the president. But strange thing is, forget this caste system, we'll talk about it. Man-woman has become a caste system. The king's wife is a queen, but the queen's husband is not a king. King's wife is queen. But queen's husband is not a king. Because king and queen means one and the same thing. But see the psychological barrier there. Queen's husband is not king. Anyway, so president somebody, then vice president. Okay, now when we started functioning like that, in the initial stages the rule will be every year the roles will change. So next year we say election time. But what everybody says? Lazy, lethargic, tamasic. He has been president, he knows the job, let him be president again. It's all right, he knows it, let him. That every year why sit down and do that? 5 years president. Because less work for us. Anyway, work is running. So suddenly become 5 years president. Then life president. After life presidency, then what happens? His son becomes the next president. People get used to president's family, president's family. He was not president. Are you getting that point, please? I hope you must see, I want you to see it. So president's family, secretary's family, treasurer's family, life president, life secretary, what is happening to political parties around the world today? They were not prime minister's family, president's family, chief minister's family, governor's family. There is nobody in that family. One person takes it. He does it nicely. Continue. So 5-time parliamentarian, 7-time parliamentarian, 10-time parliamentarian. Then his son now is fighting, the daughter is fighting. Everywhere, hereditary it has become. Think. The same people who talk about hereditary caste system do not talk about hereditary power passing, handover. Of course, the son of a barber should not be a barber. Then how come the son of a chief minister should be chief minister? Son of a prime minister can be prime minister. Son of a governor can be a governor. Even is a power or not. Whether these qualifications he has or not. In dictatorship you can push him. Average people do not know the difference. Think. Anyway, let us not get into that now. See, look at the caste system. So, 20 people are there. So, different things are given. The moment different positions are given, so you say, okay, he has been doing it, let him do it. Same thing in society, that rigidity must have come in. You make a house builder, you are a pot maker, you are a flower vendor, you are a priest, you are a fisherman, you are a barber. So, your son also, because you see what your father is doing. You are Ayurvedic doctor, Vaidya. So, your family child also become Vaidya, doctor. So, like that, family, 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 family. So now you are condemned to the profession. This is how the caste system stays. Started with beautiful attitude. Implementation has gone wrong. So can you say, are you getting that point please? The system that is available now, is it ever given out by is supported by the tradition? Never supported by tradition. And what Bhagavan says, Chaturvarna Maya Srishtam, it was created by me, according to what? Guna Vibhaga, Karma Vibhaga, not by Janma. As even son of an engineer is not engineer. The son of a doctor is not doctor. Son of a barber, then how can the son of a barber be barber? How can the son of a drummer be a drummer? How can be the son of a ironsmith be ironsmith? You understand the difference? How can the son of a priest be a priest? The person doesn't know anything. But today, all these professional qualities are completely gone. But the person still carries the caste name. You know, there is, in North India, you can see the names Vedi. Vedi means one who knows one Veda. Dvivedi, those who know two Vedas. Trivedi, those who know three Vedas. Chaturvedi, those who know all the four Vedas. You call those fellows? Neither he knows one Veda, two Veda, forget one Veda. If you ask him how many Vedas, the fellow will not know. But his name is Chaturvedi. But he doesn't know there are four Vedas. He is sitting in some computer class or some medicine class or somewhere, selling drugs or the cutting, becomes a butcher, drinking something. The title continues. The name, are you getting it? The caste name continues. How unfortunate. And same thing, the other person who has completely no more, nothing to do with the so-called menial labor, maybe he has become the PhD, but still the caste is hunting him. And then other religions, when they come, try to poach on this caste system. Oh, there are divisions here, you come away, we shall make you equals. You go there. What happens? You see in India. The fellow becomes a converted, whatever he converts himself, then he becomes a Nadar Christian, Brahman Christian, and so the high class which have converted, they have a separate church. The low class which have converted, they will have a separate church. I have nothing to do with this or that. I am just talking to you. What happens? These baggage they carry, even if they change their religion. No religion shall succeed in removing this baggage. Only the same tradition which has been misunderstood and given a burden, the same tradition can give it a sanction and remove it. Once you understand, the divisions are created not to condemn somebody to the practice, profession, but for a functional division. Now that the function is not there, you are no more that person. Whatever you are doing, you are that. That is why the caste name should go away. Are you getting that? The caste names must completely go away. Is it now? You tell me, what is the name of son of the king of Ayodhya? What was his name? What is king of Ayodhya's name in Ramayana? Dasaratha. What was Lanka's king's name? Ravana. What was Mithila's, the Dwaraka king's name? Ugrasena or Krishna, whatever you say. Is it there Krishna Singh, Duryodhana Singh, Raja, Burma? Is it written there? Maharaj, is it there? Nothing. Simple names. Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, Sahadeva. Not Bhima Mudali, Krishna, Rama, Krishna Namudri, Rama, what is that, Vedi, Chaturvedi. No caste names. In whole ancient tradition, there is no caste name. Just names. Krishna, his son's name is Aniruddha, Pradyumna. No caste name. See this tradition? Because you cannot give a caste name. Because the function, the profession is subject to changes. The profession is going on changing. You cannot say, Ram, doctor, because what about his son? Son cannot take the role of a doctor if he is not a medicine PhD or MBBS. So his name is just a name. Whatever his name, it will come with it. So no caste name. Are you getting that point, please? So can you justify a caste system? The people, you cannot justify. It's a beautiful functional division. Who is better, who is lesser? Nobody. Who shall get into temple, who shall not get into temple? Can there be an untouchable? Can you say in one breath you say, Isha Vasyamidam Sarvam, everything is nothing but the Ishvara. Then the next line what you say? You cannot go into temple. What? Bhagavan says what? That language what he says, Janma karma cha me divyam. Evam yo vetitatva tektva deham punarjanma mameti. The person comes to me, one with me, undivided absolute. One person sees that oneness everywhere, so nobody is away from God. So how can you say in one line, Sarvam khalu idam Brahma, everything is Brahman, the absolute? Such a tradition, can he say you are untouchable? Everything is Ishvara. Can you then say this person cannot get into the temple? Can you say that? It's a huge contradiction. And that is why you can see in lives of the saints also, it has happened. Like I went to Udupi. When I went to Udupi, there is a Krishna temple there. In a Krishna temple, we went and standing in the main gate. Waiting, the gate is closed. So the person there, one person came, he started laughing because he knew we are alone, we are new. Why? Because in that temple, the main gate never opens. The main gate never opens. Why? Because there was a Kanakadasa, he was a devotee. He is supposed to be from lesser caste. That language to use, I feel rotten, because this has no sanction. So this person is condemned to that, he is a lesser caste. So what happened? So they didn't, the orthodoxy, the priest class will not allow him to go to the front door. So he went to the backside of the temple, through the window he started praying. And Krishna's statue turned. Even now you cannot see the deity from the main door. You have to look through the window. So Krishna can turn. God can turn. The priest will not turn. You go to temple here in Tamil Nadu, Nandanar. When he goes and prays, he cannot see the statue of the deity. So he stands, because he is not allowed to go into the temple. So he stands outside. The Nandi moves. The Nandi, the stone bull moves. Still that mark is there. You see that as though he has moved and he can see. The Nandi will move, God will move, orthodoxy will not move. Or else this type of caste system shall not linger in India. Because it has no sanction whatsoever. Are you getting that point, please? And because you are creating that division in one, that is why it's a huge contradiction. Cannot be accepted by anybody. No normal thinker can ever, intelligent thinker can ever accept it. The caste system, as it is practiced today, is absolute nonsense, has no relevance whatsoever. But guna karma vibhaga, humanity cannot escape because it is there for every person. And nobody can be condemned to a guna also. We all are, each one of us, a Brahmana, sometimes a Brahmana, sometimes a Vaishya, sometimes a Kshatriya, sometimes a Sudra. There are certain moods which are very generous, helping others. Kshatriya, leadership. Sometimes very happy with yourself, helping others. Sometimes very hard working, but you are not taking the result, is for others. Brahmana, Kshatriya. Vaishya is very hard working only for himself. Sudra is only for procreation and eating. That is the only thing, activity takes place. In today's generation, understand, in today's generation, almost no Brahmana, no Kshatriya. There are only two types of people in the world today. People who are very hard working for themselves, or people who are working out of only for sustenance and procreation. The other two varieties do not exist. Leadership means, understand, today's leadership. Who can be a leader? Who can be a Kshatriya? Who shall be always active for others' sake? Rajopradhana, very active for others' sake. He alone can be a leader. The moment he starts working for himself, he shall be a businessman in the position of a ruler. And today, all the politicians are what? Vaishya. Who should be a Brahmana? Who should be a Brahmana? Happy with himself, wise man, contented with himself. While living for himself, he lives for others all the time. Like falling in the harmony of the universe. Like a wise person, Brahmana. Happy with himself, contented with himself. For his happiness, contentment, he shall not exploit anybody. Laugh with me, then I'll be happy. Give me this, then I'll be happy. Do this for me, then I'll be happy. No, I am happy. I don't need anything from anybody. Whatever comes to me, it is for all. Like nature he lives. The rain comes now. For whose sake? Not for its own sake, for us. The tree carries mango. For whose sake? For us. That is Brahmana. What are the Brahmanas? Brahmana is not a caste. Brahma janati iti Brahmana. Are you getting that? Brahma janati iti Brahmana. One who knows the absolute is a Brahmana. Please see. Two things I must tell you that. Why, how it must have happened? In a family, suppose, please see, in a family, suppose those days you are somebody is a cow herd, somebody is a, what is that, pot maker, somebody somewhere. Now, he must have decided, a person has 4 children. Please see this. Possibility. He has 4 children. Then he says, so many children, everybody, why should he stay at home? You do one thing. You go to study. You go to study. So that child who went to study Gurukula, he must have done the Upanayana. Upanayana means what? Upa, ni, nai to lead. Upa means samipya. Ni, nai to lead. That day you are laid near the teacher. That is a Upanayanam. So, who suppose in a family, instead of everybody helping out the father in agriculture, one child, the family decided must go to study. Then what happens? He is the one who initiated to second birth, Dvija. He was initiated by the, ritualistically he was initiated to study and go to the teacher. So when he puts a sacred thread, others don't put. Because he is doing agriculture, no? Why should he need a thread for that? He is looking after certain family business. Why should he put a thread for it? But this child is going to school, to the Gurukula. So he puts a thread. And when he studies, naturally he has his advantage. And he returns a very nice person. And as a Brahman, as a Brahmachari, then he became, so Grihastha, he put another 6 lines he can put. So he continues with the thread. The other doesn't need it, because doing the agriculture, you don't need to do puja. This person has his rituals or something to do, so he needs the thread. The other person doesn't need the thread. Now when he got the benefit of studies, what he did? He wants his child also to do like that. Just like in a like education system. Today, same father, one son became doctor, his children become doctor. Another son becomes agriculturist, his children become trained to that way. Another son becomes a musician. Same father. But because today we don't have the caste system, a person musician is a caste, doctor is a caste, you don't become different caste system. A professional is not condemned to the profession, whereas those days, professional is condemned to profession. So at same time, even in family, there may be so many people, but one become a Brahmana because of the caste, because he is a priest, because he studied, he did this, so he became priest. The other person remain Vaishya. So same brother, but suddenly divided by profession. Suddenly divided by profession. Superior, inferior comes up. Why? Oh, he is dealing with the leather. He is useless. Hey, he is not useless, because if somebody doesn't do with the leather, how are you going to put on the shoes? Dignity of labor went away. Comparison started. Like I am a doctor, I am educated, he is uneducated. So in a family, same thing. Education, today education creates a caste system. Money creates a caste system. Are you getting that point, please? So there is a possibility. This way the caste might have continued. But the system is wrong. Anybody can get into any profession, and no professional must be condemned to profession. Professional should not be condemned to profession. And that's what is happening today. We are not, chartered accountancy is not a caste. Driver is not a caste. A driver's son can be chartered accountant. Chartered accountant's son can be a dropout. An ordinary person's child can be a big, singer or a dancer or something like that. Everybody. Please see, you do not do that in the name of the profession, please appreciate. Another thing. Then people will say, no. But then, Vedas itself says, what? Rugveda mantra, Purusha Shuktam, Brahmano Syamukamasid, Bahurajanya Krutah, Uru Tadasya Yadvaishya, Padvyagam Sudro Jayata. Purusha Shuktam, where Purusha, the whole creation, Ishvara. Ishvara, he talks about what? He talks about, God himself says, please see, God himself says, Brahmano Syamukamasid. Brahmana came from the mouth. Bahurajanya Krutah, the Kshatriya leaders came from the hand. Uru Tadasya Yadvaishya, the businessman come from the thighs. Padvyam Sudra Jayata, the Sudra came from the feet. Okay. So, how can we say, so Brahmana, superior, comes from the mouth. And Sudra comes from the foot. Okay, I am standing in front of you. I am your teacher, I am your father, I am your brother, whatever I am standing in front of you. I am a person who is elder to you. You are supposed to show your respect to me. Just take an example. Suppose they respect me. When you come to me, do you touch my foot or touch my head? Swamiji? Huh? No. How do you pay respect? You touch the foot. So everybody touching Sudra, no. So Sudra is untouchable? Padvyam Sudra Jayata. I'm just making are you getting that on point? For idiots, because people who think he is superior or inferior, he would touch the feet. Okay. Now, come to the fact. The whole creation is seen as the Purusha. Change it. Please think that. The whole creation is seen as the Purusha. We saw it, Purusha, Prakriti, Ishvara. The whole creation is Ishvara. Now when you say Ishvara, what is that? Please see, what is that? How is the description is, please see. Shirshno samavartada padbhyam bhumi disasrotraat tatha lokagam akalpayan. This is how the Ishvara Kalpana. What did they say? If you consider the whole creation as universe as God, padbhyam bhumi, just imagine. Beautiful. Whole earth is the feet of Lord. The feet of the God. So if the whole earth is foot, in which direction he should expand? You stand on your foot, no? So if the whole earth is the foot, in which direction his body shall be? All directions. Are you getting that? Nabhya asid antariksham. His navi. Antariksha is his navi. The whole interspace is his navi, is his navel. Shirshno dhyosamavartata. Shirshna. The head is lost in Divi Samavartata. Vast space beyond. Think of Purusha. He is one. All over. There is no existence other than it. For him, he says, Brahmanosya mukamasid. He is one. I am one. This is my face, this is my hand, this is my thighs, this is my leg. Which one is better and which one is lesser? This is my head, this is my hand, this is my thighs, this is my leg. Which one is superior part, which is inferior part? Where is me? Me is everywhere. Can you say, my head is touchable, leg is untouchable? Don't touch my leg. In fact, I want only my leg to be touched. Why? Massage is the best place. Give me massage from, thorough massage from head. How much massage you can give? Difficult, no? If anything should be touched below the neck, plenty of space to be touched. Head, how much space? There is a headache, there is a one stone bone. Think. In my body, where am I? Which is superior, which is inferior? For this hand, is it untouchable, this hand, that hand? So if he is everything, Ishvara, where is untouchable? Which is untouchable? He is his face, he is his hand, he is his leg, his thing. So, Brahmana, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Sudra, are they functional divisions or real divisions? So whoever chants Vedas is Brahmana. Brahmana does not sing Vedas. Are you getting that? Brahmana Shyamukha Masit. Why? Because from Mukha, the Brahmana, these Veda chantings are there. So whoever learns chanting is a Brahmana. But what has happened today? Only Brahmans should chant. What is this? Who should be a driver? Whoever knows driving is a driver. Can we say driver is a caste? Only driver's son should learn driving. Whoever knows driving is a driver. Whoever knows engineering is an engineer. Whoever knows medicine is a doctor. Whoever chants, priest. Whoever knows worship is a priest. Whoever is defending others is a Kshatriya. Whoever is doing it for himself is a Vaishya. So you cannot be the son of so-and-so. Are you getting that point, please? So even if you say from that, Brahmana, and Bahu Rajanya Krutaha, with the hand, he protects the whole thing, the power. Therefore, Kshatriya. So whoever protects others are Kshatriya. Kshatriya doesn't protect. One who protects is a Kshatriya. So sometimes you can be chanting the Vedas thinking. That time you are a Brahmana. You are protecting somebody. Kshatriya. Vaishya, sitting down, doing business. Uru tadasya yad Vaishya. In a businessman, what is his area of working? Chair on the counter. Sit down, this much. Vaishya. Padvyagam Sudra Jayada. Foot takes you everywhere. He's always on the foot. Foot soldier. Huh? Always on the foot. Working. Because that's what he's qualified for. As a child, everybody is Sudra. Because you don't know any profession. And when you pick up something, you become something. So who is superior? Please see. In one body, everybody is taken care. Brahmana, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Sudra are the divisions. But today what has happened? The person has no other qualification except a caste qualification. I am a high caste person. Ask him to clean the toilet. Huh? I have right to make a mess, but somebody else must clean. I see. Proud. Other person is so conditioned that you are low, untouchable. The society has pushed into his head. If you put him into a temple, the person will not go. Even if you force him, he will not go. Because he thinks if he goes in, he will pollute. And I told you that. Suppose you have made me untouchable. I am totally untouchable. So I should not be getting into temple. Why? If I get into temple, I shall pollute the whole temple, its holiness, its divinity, its sacredness. I can pollute everything. Now, who is more powerful then? Instead of the temple, the God purifying me, if I can make them impure by my presence, who is more powerful, me or the God? Me or the temple? Of course me. Then whom we should worship? So God is less powerful than me because I can change him. He can't change me. Just see the silliness of the whole tradition as it is practiced today. Such nonsense. That is why don't ever speak the language of caste system. Don't ever speak the language. Understand? You must see it very clearly. It may have its advantage, disadvantage. Like a son of a doctor is a doctor's son, there is an advantage. But if the person wants to somebody else, you have no right to refuse him. Sculptor's son is a sculptor. Okay, he knows certain tricks from his father. He may know it. But suppose he says, I don't want to be like that, I somebody else. Yes. Then his name must change. Just that is a given name. No caste name must be there. Usually in South Indian tradition, if you look at it, it is like R. Subramaniam, S. Krishnan, like father's name, son's name. Usually caste name is not there. But some people use the caste name also. But in North India, the whole system is a caste system, name. The entire name, your surname is your caste. Very difficult. Even in South also it is there, but not as much there, as much is it in. So there, no name remain without a caste name. It should change. Why? But who are you? Not a Brahmana, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Sudra. Neither father, son, mother, child. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham, Shivoham, Ishvara. He alone is existing. He alone is the truth, the absolute. And thereafter, Brahmana, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Sudra, these are the divisions. What division? Functional division. Whenever you are using your mind, your brain, you are a Brahmana, you are a thinker. Thinking. Thinking what? Happy with yourself, living for yourself, living for others. With that same thinking, you are sometimes protecting others. Kshatriya. You are doing it for yourself. Vaishya. Serving out everybody. Shudra. I'll tell an interesting story in relation to Puri temple. Ratha Yatra is a car festival, which is a world famous car festival. World famous car festival where, the story is the Puri Gajapati Maharaj, he was this Kanchi princess he was supposed to marry. So he comes to all the way to marry. But then, when he comes to marry here, the story is the Kanchi Maharaj came to know that every year when the Ratha Yatra, during the car festival, he has to sweep the floor of the chariot. So the king of the Kanchi did not like it. He said, I cannot give marriage to a sweeper. See the rigidity of the caste system. So because he is sweeping, the king is sweeping, also he is a sweeper. If you are sweeping, you are a sweeper. If you are a king, how can you sweep? A king can sweep. What is wrong with that? No. If he is sweeping, he is a sweeper. He is a sweeper king, not king sweeper. See the rigidity of it. Anyway, this is a story, historical incident. Again, don't tell me true or right. Don't talk. Do you know this? Hey, forget it. Situations. You look at your life and live your life. Everybody shall never know what happens thousands of years before. Whether Krishna existed or not, Arjuna there or not, These books were written or not written, makes no difference. Does it mean something to me? Yes, grab it. Doesn't mean, dump it. It doesn't matter. That type of intelligence must be applied. Kalidas says, Puranamityeti, Puranamityeva nasadu sarvam. Just because something is old need not be great. It can be old and stupid. You can dump it. So see the relevance of it. Anyway, so the king said, I am not going to give sweeper. Then he was offended. So the story is, he is devoted to Krishna, Jagannath. He comes and attacks, invades this kingdom, Kanchi. Comes from all the way from Kalinga, invades Kanchi, defeats, and takes over the princess and goes. I say Vijaya Bahuda, the victorious retreat, so that the city was established. Then he goes into the Kalinga Desha, whatever he is, marry. Now but he says, okay, now this man said that he is not going to give his daughter to a sweeper. He told his minister, give this girl married to a sweeper. So the minister took it away, chief minister and the prime minister to give it to the sweeper. But the minister also knows, king really loves the princess. Very angry, therefore telling. So he kept it there. So next year when the car festival comes, the king came to sweep. When the king came to sweep, he takes the princess, nicely decorated, and says, now you take it. Now you are sweeping, no? Take it. How sweet. So because he is sweeping, does the king cease to be a king? So because you are an engineer, so because you are born to this type of nonsensical consideration called a caste, so what do you say? Oh, you may be an engineer, but your father was a, shoemaker. So, I'm proud my father was a shoemaker. I'm proud that my father was a milkman. But that's his profession. He was not stealing. That's his profession. So dignity of labor, which you see implemented in Western countries. Principle is here, implementation is there. The whole, are you getting that? The whole, if you look at the Western mall, the shopping center, is a clear dignity of labor. Each one, the fellow who sells, he is running a cleaners. Oh, with three-piece tie and everything, three-piece suit. Oh, sir. So he is so proud. He is a cleaner. The fellow is saloon. He cuts hair, but he is Mr. So-and-so, sitting down with style and everything, proud of his job. The person who is doing the road work, you don't get manual labor, stand there. No. The person comes in his car, pushes down everything and does it and goes away. Person is a cook. He has his thing. He sits down there, cooks his food, gives it to everybody and walks out. Nobody says, you are a cook. Our cook, what will happen in India? Cook, he can cook your food but can't eat with you. He'll cook your food but can't eat with you. He'll wash your clothes but can't touch you. How unfortunate. The principle is taken, beautiful from here, implemented there. We have all the beautiful principles, no implementation. Okay, even though it is implemented there, still problem continues. Why? Because implementation is there, but the person doesn't know I am the absolute. Still the role haunts the people. Again, in Western countries, even though the dignity of labor, which is good common sense, but is not wisdom, because the person is not aware of himself. So somewhere unconsciously, the profession comes into personal life. The professional comes into the personal life. Understand? To keep the profession going, the person is not interfering with the professional. They try to keep their personal life separate from their professional life. That is why there is a lot of discipline in that world. Your personal life is kept separate. Whatever may be happening, but he comes and does his job for 6 hours and goes. That training is there. Here, the personal life is gone, the professional life is confused. That is a best principle, we are in a mess. Appreciate. Suppose West gets that idea of the person, who they are, with professional arrangement, paradise. Here we have the beautiful, suppose we have this, those of us who have got this understanding of absolute. If we can organize our professional side, it will be fantastic. Around the world, if both personal life and professional life organized, nothing like it. I am happy with myself, I am a singer. You are happy with yourself, you are the electrician. You are happy with yourselves, you are something else. Each one is happy with himself, but roles we are playing is different and flexible roles. Here we are sitting down here, I am speaking, you are listening. When I get into your car, you are driving, I am sitting. When you go to the party, somebody is providing the food, you are eating. Some other times you are washing down the plate, somebody is washing down the thing. Which work is lesser and more important? Which is inferior, which is superior? Nothing. Are you getting that point, please? The flexibility. Absolutely Brahman. Samam hi Brahma. Nirdoshami samam Brahma. Tasmad Brahmani tesita. Nirdoshami samam Brahma. Flawless absolute existence. Everybody is one and the same. So being the same, what role you should play? Whichever role you play. So these is the four divisions. Guna vibhaga, and what is a karma vibhaga? Karma can be 100 variety. Guna vibhaga can be 4 type. Understand? Guna vibhaga, 4 type. Brahmana, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Sudra. But that is not a caste system. You are not condemned by birth. Are you getting that? And what is karma vibhaga? Action can be 1000 varieties. Think. Action can be so many varieties. What type of action? What type of role you can play? Think. Somebody is an agriculturist, somebody is a gardener, somebody is a musician, somebody is a player, somebody chanting, somebody singing, somebody dancing, somebody cooking. You understand? How many divisions? Infinity. Human activities, hundreds and thousands of variety. Who is better? All are wonderful, just like our body. Every cell has a different function. Heart cell, kidney cell, stomach, intestine, brain. But all work in total coordination, total unison, harmonious existence. One cell goes crazy, the whole system will collapse. All your roles are beautiful. One role drives you crazy, you will be finished. That's why people commit suicide. The son in you dies, the daughter in you dies, the lover in you dies, the rich man in you dies, because rich is gone. The person goes away. Your entire personality gets shattered and you kill yourself. But suppose you are the absolute, roles can drop. Which role is better? Every role is wonderful in its own place. You can be a sweeper, you can be a king. Which one is better? When you don't have that sense of inferiority, superiority, you shall not look up people, you shall not look down upon people as inferior or superior. You will not. Everybody as it is beautiful. Each one has a place. When somebody has to climb my house, I will not call a singer. When I want to be entertained, I will call a singer. If somebody has to climb and fix my house, call a plumber. So if the singer says, see, he is calling the plumber, he is not calling me. Arey bhai, you cannot do the plumbing. Therefore I am calling him. When a singing needed, I will call sing. No, he is giving important plumber, you see all these days. What? See, whenever he goes there, he takes the driver. Then whom shall I take? Dancer. When your role will be required, I will call you. When that person's role is required, he calls me. Same thing, whenever you need me, I come. What way? What do you need? Swamiji, can you explain to me what is this caste system? Here I am. Suppose you say, Swamiji, can you give me 5 million rupees? What? Then what is this? You come and can you do some break dancing? What? Is it break dancing? What is break dancing? You know? You understand what I'm talking? So people feel neglected. Understand? People feel neglected, flattered. Your role is needed? Yes. Your role is not needed? No. But you don't feel great by being needed, and you don't feel offended when you are not needed. I am happy with myself. I am needed. I am here. Not needed. Thank you. You understand what a beautiful life you live? The whole world. The beautiful division of guna as well as the karma. So no person must be condemned as what? Brahmana, Vaishya, or Kshatriya, or Shudra. It's not only Dalit or Shudra, untouchable is condemned. Even Brahmana is condemned. Do you know why? There are so many people today, those who have been condemned to that caste. They don't know anything that a Brahmana knows, are supposed to know. But they have to carry the load of being a Brahmana. They are feeling guilty. I eat beef, but I have to put a Janu. He feels guilty, so he removes the sacred thread when he is eating beef. After some time, he said, why are you putting the thread? Drop it. Only during the function, put it on. Guilt. And this untouchable is so much bashed upon it, on him, pushed upon him. Get into a temple, he cannot. Push him also, he cannot. Why? He thinks he is going to pollute everything. Unconsciously, he thinks he is so powerful that he can pollute the God also. But strong conditioning. That whole load must completely go. How? Knowing. Name jati veda. For me, there is no jati veda. No gurur naiva shishya. Chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham. I am the absolute, all pervasive. So when you see this, so that's what Bhagavan Chaturvarnam Maya system, as though in my presence, to be consciousness. These four divisions can be there inside you. Long before you are one with yourself, these four divisions can come. Understand? I am the one, Bhagavan says, Kartarama Vidhi, I am the one responsible for it. Because this guna vibhaga naturally takes place. But also, know me, I am not responsible for it. Like, listen, beautiful, gold is here. We both are fighting. We both are fighting for the gold. Are you getting it? Here is gold. Suppose Mr. Gold can come and say, all these people are fighting only for me. And he also can say, I am nowhere responsible for their fighting. Truth the absolute. When in search of absolute, divisions are so visible. When you see the indivisible, what search? So as though he is responsible for all craziness in this universe. Why? Because everybody is looking for happiness, everybody is looking for God. So as though he is responsible for every type of craziness in the world. Yet from his own standpoint, what craziness? I am nowhere responsible. When you see the truth for yourself, you enjoy the whole joke called the universe. Such a beauty. I am the absolute. In search of me, all searches. Mama Vartmanu Vartante Manushya Partha Sarvas. Here, Arjuna, everybody searches for me in all possible ways. And towards that, what do? Somebody singing, dancing, jumping, touching, tasting, smelling. Billions of people, billions of activities. It makes the world so enchanting. Painful also. Full of problems, full of crises, yet moments of comfort and happiness. How beautiful this universe is. Close your eyes, please. Who you are, is free from every division. One individual consciousness. Ajo nitya sasvatayam purana. Unborn, eternal. Thoughts of many kinds, conditions of the body, provides you a role to play on life. Roles are neither superior nor inferior. Happily play through your roles until one day the role drops out. You are always existing. Nahanyate hanyamane sarire. The body is struck down by time. The roles disappear in time. You are still existing as you are. Shivam Shiva. So at no time, ever you must have that sense of superiority or unnecessary inferiority and depressing humility. Nor have you the arrogance of any kind. Everybody is as divine as everybody else. Everything is as beautiful as everything else. Each person is free. You don't become a slave of somebody, nor you allow yourself to be enslaved. You don't consider, you don't enslave somebody, make somebody dependent on you to destroy you. If you choose to be a slave, you are a master. Be the master and choose to live with things, but no more affected by anything or any role. Guna karma vibhaga are all roles. According to guna, your karmas will vary. So proud of your birth, because unborn you are. At your birth gives you a chance to return to that unborn. So proud of your birth, your growth, your knowledge. It's not dependent on it. No sense of inferiority or superiority. You are with yourself. Call it God if you choose. Shivam Shiva. Thank you, friends. See these things clearly.